Eating my Slim Jim. Eating my Slim Jim.
Yeah,
Really?
it's been a long time since I had a Slim Jim. I had one there. It's going to be a long time before I have another.
Heartburn? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Is that the same guy?
What?
Macho Man?
Yeah.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool frosty brew while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger. With me, as always,
Jeremiah Johnson.
and with us more often than not,
Me, Michael Pettttitt. Or Mick Petttititt.
right.
Whatever it is.
Mick Petttititt with a mouthful of meat.
Yep. One of those, is it?
Every time, man. I don't know why you'd expect it to be any different.
I don't.
So,
Yep, it's that guy.
yep, I'm totally that guy. I'm gonna have the T-shirt and everything. It's gonna be awesome.
I still think it's funny when you introduced you to Johnny. Like, so who's that? That guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna own it, right?
Oh, I know.
When it comes to life and scenarios, you either fight it or you own it.
Well,
So-
I had sent a text to Johnny beforehand saying I'm going to add you to the group chat. You could just introduce yourself. And we get in there and everybody does it. And it's like, who's that guy? And then Adam goes straight to, fuck Lucas. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and then you're like, I'm that guy. And so I'm getting like all these texts. Like, so who said this? And who's the person that said this? And who's the person that said this? I'm like, oh, God. Would you guys just introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah.
I
Nope.
did instantly.
No.
I know. I appreciate that. But it was...
Does it make it better if a part of me knew that that's what happened on the other end?
No! It does not make it any better.
Part of me kind of knew that too, right?
Oh, I know. I knew you knew. I knew exactly what you're doing. As soon as it said that guy, I'm like, oh, he is that guy. Ass.
Gotta own it, man. Yep. You either jump ship or sail hard. There's two options there. So
Just
Mick,
you wait. You're going to
Yes,
jump
sir.
ship when we're in my
Right.
campaign.
so because of this being like a basically a bonus
Yeah.
episode, right?
Okay.
This is part 2 of the one that we just did. We're just gonna drink what we want to drink, and we already drank beer and reviewed it. If you want to know what Mick's drinking, check out his Pints and Pants episode,
What I
which
drank.
you should tell people how to find that.
Well, the easiest way is to go to YouTube and search Stupid Mythic Forest, and everything will come up there. Or you can go to Twitter and go to the official SMF, and that will bring you everything you need to know about us.
Yes. And if you go that way, everything is spelled correctly.
Everything's
On
cool.
Twitter, it is.
Official SMF. I'm pretty sure official is proper, and SMF is just
Oh, yeah.
SMF.
For YouTube, yeah, that's fine. We just have the @official with only one I for SMF. For SMF. For the Twitter.
Which is probably how I would spell it anyway, right? Yeah.
OFFICAL.
I have no idea. Let's not go through this. I will embarrass myself.
That's how I spell it, so.
Okay. I'm sure I would spell it wrong. But people should totally go check out your stuff.
Definitely.
Especially that last episode where you had a couple of really awesome guests.
There's kind of a weird awkward point in the middle, but, you know. it turned
The
out
middle?
pretty good.
Only the middle was
I
awkward?
do. Yeah.
The whole thing was just a, you know. It was,
Good times. Really good quality listening. Everybody should check it out.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was good though.
Well, and they have to check it out because then
Definitely.
they will get all up to speed before your cousin's on the show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I
and
think
then
it
you
is-
can also see these dudes. So
Yeah.
wrong way. These dudes.
Yeah, thanks.
I
buddy.
looked the wrong way. My camera's pointed wrong. That's why I'm looking this way instead of
It's all fine.
I know.
So on our episode, our last episode, we reviewed Alita Battle Angel, which we apparently loved and had so much to banter about that it consumed the entire episode.
Yes, it did.
Over an hour, right? And it is really good. We stand by everything we said. Go check it out. It will be before you watch this episode on our YouTube stream. As always, I would like to promote our favorite podcast, which, as always, is our own. So please follow us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, find us on our website, which is just nerdbuzz.com, where you can listen to any episode of Nerdbuzzed or watch it 100% free, as opposed to
any other percentage
I'll be back in a
of
second.
free.
That's right. That's right. And Mick's gonna bail. Classic.
That's
Classic Mick. It's awesome. We are going to continue playing For Honor because it is our nerd play game, which is what we do every month. We pick a free game that PlayStation gives us. We play it. We give you our thoughts on it. Play it with us. Let us know what you think.
Well, we're doing it again. We kind of hung it up for a little while.
What?
The nerd play.
Oh, well, only because Red Dead consumed the world.
That's true.
Let's be fair, right? It wasn't just us. The world was consumed by Red Dead. Warranted, because Red Dead is amazing. It's in
Red
a
Dead
little bit of a
single player
lull.
is amazing.
Yes, I would 100%. Yes, the online, I have a lot of concerns, and I have more and more concerns every single day with the online. But the single player, phenomenal. I give them lots of props for that. But we were going to talk about on our last episode the Netflix Marvel split that happened, and I know that you had some opinions about it.
Well, I just finished completing, what was it, Luke Cage? No, it was Iron Fist. That was the last one, wasn't it?
Season 2? Yeah, that had the sweet, totally...
That was the worst ending. They did such a great job until that very end episode.
I love the episode with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, though.
Oh, that was a great one.
Yeah. When they came in and they did the, Heroes for Hire.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And that's what you thought you were going to get. You were like,
Yes.
oh, awesome, they're doing this. We're going to get Heroes for Hire. And then they announced the canon. It's like, all right, we're going to get Heroes for Hire. And then no, it's done. Everything's done. No Defenders, no none of this. And as soon as they announced that as like the official, it's done. And then they came out with the official, where they announced that they were pitching, like a week before we got there. We're pitching season 4. Daredevil and all this other stuff going on. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. And then they like, oh, it's canceled. Wait, no,
Yeah.
you're pitching it, not canceling it.
Yeah.
What's going on? No, this is fake. And then they came back as this true. And I'm like, well, then screw you guys. You're going to cancel that. I'll cancel you.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah. Which I do have in my notes because I made some notes about it all. It has been stated before in interviews and stuff that only Netflix had the power to cancel those shows. Like they were majority owned by Netflix, and so they had the final say to determine that they were canceled. Wow. So I guess if you're going to put a final blame on someone, I think the deciding factor probably is Netflix. But I do think, to be fair, I think a lot of that does weigh on Marvel, though, right?
Yeah, on Disney.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
Disney. Yes, we
I
should
understand
say
that too.
the big conglomerate. It's totally a lot of that is coming from Disney. Whether it is like a direct pressure, I don't think it's a direct pressure for them to make Netflix cancel, but it's just the pressure that the conglomerate carries with it, right? Like the overarching doom and gloom of what Disney is turning into.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of scary a little bit.
Kingpin no longer has the white suit. He's got a pair of overalls and big ears.
Yeah. It's I do think it's intimidating and scary what Disney's doing. We got officially announced that the Punisher, that is our final season, and that Jessica Jones will give us a season 3, but that is the end. Once season 3 of Jessica Jones ends, we get no more Marvel, Netflix shows of any kind.
Yep.
So does that mean they're all probably going to be taking that to the Disney streaming then?
I think that's
2021 be the earliest they can do it.
Well, so I think that no matter what, Disney owns the rights to those characters, right? The Netflix interpretations of them, Netflix owns, for sure. So, and I think it, in a way, it's going to be interesting what happens with Disney, because I do think a big part of this talking about this comes from the Disney streaming service, right? That I think a lot of people are putting blame on for these shows leaving Netflix. And to be fair, the Disney streaming service wants to be more family friendly. So all their shows are going to be something you can watch with everybody, PG-13, we should say.
Yeah.
They're already planning a Winter Soldier Falcon show that will coexist with the MCU. They're planning a Loki show, which will coexist with the MCU, and a potential Vision and Scarlet Witch show that will also coincide with the MCU. They will exist in that world, right? Same actors, everything on board.
Okay.
So that is in the works, which I think to me says if they're going to reboot these shows in any kind of way, I kind of doubt they'll be on the Disney network. But I think with the acquisition of Fox, it's important to remember that when they acquire Fox, they acquire everything that Fox owns, which is 30% of Hulu. Disney already owns 30% of Hulu. So now Disney
Now they have majority.
60, they will have 60%. And they've already come forward and said that they are going to release animated versions of MODOK, Howard the Duck, Hit Monkey, and Tigra and Dazzler, which are supposed to be more mature-oriented animated shows even. We're not even talking live action, right?
Yeah.
Which I think if the Netflix shows were to go anywhere, I think it would be Hulu.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Right? I think they're much more mature than what the Disney streaming service actually is trying to put out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
makes
wondering if like the success of like Deadpool is gonna play on it too, because that's a Fox thing now too, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So I wonder if they're gonna try to go that way. Like, well, Deadpool did so good, so let's acquire all this stuff and then try to do it like that.
Possibly.
Yeah.
They did say though for the film world that like the feature length movies, they will stick with R-rated.
Really?
Especially for the Deadpool and all that stuff. It's
Well,
been officially announced that that's what they're going to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So
Anything that was
the,
originally intended to be R-rated is not going to go PG because of the acquisition.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so Deadpool can stay Deadpool.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure what they were gonna do with like X-Force and stuff like that. If they were gonna go more PG-13 with that, or if that's gonna be.
I think
more...
that maybe the better way to say it is that Disney is cool with anything that's making gobs of money right now,
Yeah.
and they're not going to do anything to stop that flow of money. But anything that is kind of losing money or not making as much as it was, they're totally willing to bring in and revamp, right, and add it to whatever.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Let's see. The big overarching question I really have about these Netflix shows is, were they really good? Really that good?
They're all, okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's be fair and like real about it. How many of the shows are there? There's a total of 4, right?
Well, 5 if you include Defenders.
If you include the coming together of them, which is Defenders, all
6.
of those have at least. What's the 6th one?
You have Jessica Jones, Luke Cage,
Yep. Daredevil,
Punisher, and then Defenders. Oh no,
And then
you're fine.
Oh yeah, that's that
Yeah,
Iron Fist. Oh yeah, that's
Iron Fist.
So it
Yeah.
is 6. If we
yeah.
include Defenders, it is totally 6.
Yeah.
Spot on, Mick. See, I knew there's a reason we had you on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Just call you out on your bullcrap.
Right? If you don't, somebody else will.
Then Mick
There's a
will
lot
never
of it to
shut
be
up.
called out on. Yeah. I think, to be fair, out of all of that they've really given us, I'm willing to give Jessica Jones season 1, Daredevil season 1 and 2. I'll give it that. And Punisher season 2.
You didn't like season 3?
Of Daredevil? It's. I think it's regurgitated drama that he's constantly dealt with. And really, in the end, he's like finally gonna move past it, but we're never gonna get to see it.
Well, not now.
Yeah, but I kind of still feel like it's like I feel like they still just milked everything that they gave us in that.
Oh, I loved it.
I didn't hate it by any means. I just didn't think it was anything groundbreaking.
I think Daredevil season 2 is by far the most solid season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Season 1, great intro. It was awesome. It really made me want more from them.
Yeah.
And then season 2 delivered that.
Totally.
Jessica Jones season 1 delivered that. Luke Cage season 1 was good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't have the same feel.
Yeah.
But season 2 of Luke Cage, I loved. I loved season 2 of Luke Cage.
Okay.
And then same with Iron Fist. Season 2 of Iron Fist was pretty freaking awesome.
In comparison to season 1.
All the way up to the end of season 2. Season 2 is awesome.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the boat of I'm really so okay with all of this. Like I think
And Punisher season 1 of Punisher was amazing. I had never saw season 2 yet because
season 1 is weird. I'm not
season
the
one's
biggest
good.
fan. season 1 to me again is that like
Season
it's like,
one's
it's like my it's my issues with like the Wonder Woman movie.
That's for you, Jack.
It's totally my issues with the Wonder Woman movie, where it's like it's trying so hard to deliver a message that it's hard to see past the message, right? And so I struggle with that with the season 1. Season 2 of Punisher, phenomenal. I so loved season 2. I thought it was so good. Did you watch season 2?
No, I
that was
canceled-
after the cancel.
I
Huh?
canceled-
It's
I
really
finished
too
it
bad.
yet.
Season 2 is really good.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna get it back. There's a few other shows that people keep saying you need to see this. I'm like,
Yeah.
What is it on Netflix? Oh, that's okay.
yeah, right. I even though Netflix has the power to cancel these shows, I still can't help but think it's majority because of Disney.
Oh, I'm sure
I
it
believe
was.
so.
Right? Like it's
but
not
it was just-
Netflix's fault, really. Like I guess they ultimately pushed the button, but I can't blame it on them.
It was the when I decided to actually do it was the article that came out with an interview of the people that were working on Daredevil.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that said it came from the top office there. Like we were in there pitching it, and then all of a sudden the next day it came from their top office. Nope, we're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, when it came on, they were basically debunking the Disney influence side of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Netflix has already stated that they have final say, right? That we decide what is on our network and what isn't. So somebody else can't pressure us out of it. But I can't help but think because of this streaming service that Disney has coming up and what the power that they have behind it all, like in a way that's threatening on its own, right? I think
I agree.
if you look past the whole Netflix thing, I think it's threatening to any streaming thing anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Especially with the amount that they're going to own of Hulu. If they own that much of Hulu and they have their own network that is basically going to do what the MCU did, but do it in like a streaming service format, I mean, there's intent there to be as dominating as the movies have been.
That's already been done, though.
What?
CW.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they just do it on network, right? Like, you don't even need to stream any of that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, they have all of the DC stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird point to make because I think as far as movies go right now, DC is trying to emulate Marvel, but now if they go into the network side of it and try to do it, they're almost trying to emulate the DC, right? Mm-hmm. Crisscross. Like that's kind of, I didn't really think of that part of it, but that's totally true. I don't think CW is nailing it.
That was my point right there.
Yeah, totally.
Another teenage drama.
Yeah. Do you think that if the Disney network comes out and it does start to do what the MCU has done as far as like movies and creating this massive overarching story and all that stuff, if that starts to happen on the Disney network with that, and I think you even have to look past MCU. I mean, you're talking all these other franchises that they own too, like major ones, Star Wars. Like if, like, let's say we complained so much about No More Solo movie. What if there's a Solo show that now comes out on Disney streaming that now is going to take that to the next level, and we're going to get that level of it?
If they did a Solo show,
yeah,
I would buy the streaming service just for that.
Just for that. If it did have the same actors, picked up where they left off, gave you those if they invested what they invested in that movie into their streaming network. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think so too. Like
like, is that cool? I mean, I think it's
I don't like having to pay another service for another,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
Because we're paying
I don't
so
have
much.
Netflix, so.
Yeah, right. You could just put that money towards them.
Right, but like if you have Netflix and you have Hulu and then you have Disney streaming, but then you have the
Amazon,
Amazon Prime. I mean, Amazon Prime though, but that's cool. I never get rid of Amazon Prime because that basically comes free with Amazon Prime.
Then you pay for it. You pay for it.
Well, but you're
paying the
$100
2-day
shipping, right?
It's not free to you pay for it.
Yeah, but still,
you get
one of those things.
You get more benefits with Amazon. But then you have like the CBS All Access.
What you're saying is you're going to have the Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have the Prime already,
Yeah.
so you might as well take advantage of the Prime Video.
And it hasn't been until recently that I've actually watched Prime Videos.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
So
Yeah.
I just told you.
Just now.
I go on binges.
And we're back.
Yeah, I go on binges and with Prime Video. I'll like see 5 or 6 things and I'm like, oh, this is cool, and sit down and just do a week or 2 of Prime Video,
Yeah.
and then I'm done with it.
A lot of services are taking in like HBO too.
Yeah.
Now. I think HBO is with Hulu and Stars is with
Oh, really?
Amazon.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if you have the thing, you can watch it through their app and all that junk. And yeah.
So maybe a fair question is the MCU better than the shows that Netflix has given us? If you compare the two to each other, do you prefer the heroes from the MCU, like as a whole, right? You got to take all the garbage of Netflix with you and all the garbage of MCU, right? But also the greats. What is better as a whole, the MCU or what Netflix has given us?
MCU.
Yeah.
I agree. I think hands down MCU. So when you look at it from that perspective, is it better now that Disney has everything back under one roof and there is potential for them to take the characters you loved so much on Netflix and do what they did with the MCU with them on their streaming service? Would that, for you, would that be this like a good takeaway from it?
Okay. The John Bernthal, is that his name? Bergenthal, whatever.
For what?
For the Punisher.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I kind of doubt. Who knows if we'll get same actors?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is if you can get him as Punisher, because he's the first Punisher that really, like sold the character for me.
Yeah, I
agree with
totally
that,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, yep.
You know,
I would agree.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Thomas Jane one anyway,
Yeah,
but for completely different reasons.
Ridiculous
Yeah.
it was.
Yes, but the same reason I like Down Periscope.
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's even like
Check out our last episode to elaborate
Exactly.
on that.
But
even like the other Punisher too, the Warzone one. It had its good moments.
the Dolph Lundgren one.
Okay, but let's be clear. If there's one thing we do not doubt, it is Disney's casting.
Right.
They have cast the MCU phenomenal, right?
Yes, they have.
Like,
True.
I do not doubt, even if they replace the Punisher, I doubt it's going to be at least worse. Like, it might take a little adjusting for the 1st season or whatever, but I don't think they're going to cast somebody that's going to be garbage. That's
No,
not
I don't
what
think
Disney
they're going
does.
to. But I'm going to say this is the first time the Punisher I've seen on screen fit.
Yeah,
You know, he made a believable Frank Castle,
yeah.
and Charlie Cox for Daredevil. I don't want to see somebody else. He sold
he was
that
awesome.
character so freaking
Yeah.
well. Foggy.
Yeah.
I want to keep Foggy there. Freaking awesome. Karen Page. I like Karen Page because she's cute and
Yeah. Well, and
funny
she's
and
an
bubbly.
awesome character. Again, that comes back
You
to
know?
the like, but I also think that comes back to the like legitimately make women relevant in these movies where they're not just like the bimbo
Okay.
girl. Like she's awesome as
So
just
I
like
was-
a strong female.
I was getting there to Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Totally sells the character.
Yep.
You know,
Season
and-
1. Season 2
No,
is some serious filler garbage.
okay. Season 2 was full of serious filler garbage, but that was not her fault.
No.
She played her character incredibly well.
Yes.
And then Luke Cage, awesome.
Yeah.
Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
Racist.
I mean, so would you rather see
okay, I'll take that one.
because you don't like Iron Fist, you're
Yeah,
racist?
that's what he said.
But you guys are both white.
I
Can
know.
you hate your own race?
You sure can.
I
Okay, you can be
adjusted my
racist
color
against
with
your
a
own
light.
race, I'm sure. I think that's just hating.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
it
racism.
really
I think
is.
it's just hating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just hate. That's just hate. Okay.
White
Just to
hate.
clarify for anybody out there that hates their own race, you're not racist. You're just hating.
Just-
Yeah, it still sucks either way. You just hate.
Right.
That's all. So would you rather have? I would almost rather see. Man, it's a tough call. If they have the same actors, I almost feel like you have to stick with the show format, right? Like it'd be hard to have the same actors and bring them into a movie. You think? Like that would be weird. They can't relate it back to Netflix stuff. I'm pretty sure Netflix is like cut the ties. Like you're not allowed to
yeah.
reference our stuff to then bring them in. So it's not like you'd get season 4 of Daredevil. You'd have to still do a reboot, even though it's the same
Yeah,
actor,
it needs
right?
to be a soft reboot then. Instead of
Yeah.
yeah.
It could
So
be a season 4, but basically just like, well, this is this many years after this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really is a season 4, but it's not like, oh, we just started up where we left off, but you did.
Yeah.
And what about Carlton Fisk?
Right.
I loved Fisk.
Dude, he was amazing.
He was
Yeah,
really,
Fisk
really
is
good.
awesome.
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of torn between all that. Like, how would they handle that? Part of me is like,
And how awesome would it be to see a Daredevil and Kingpin on the big screen?
Oh, it'd be great.
Tied into something with the MCU.
yeah.
Well, because
Yeah,
Kingpin was a
it's-
big part of Spider-Man, too.
Yes, I know. That's why I was
So
going to
that
get
would
at
be
it.
awesome.
Totally tied.
I think that based on what Disney's already offered us, right, as far as their streaming service and what shows we're going to get that are MCU related, they're clearly characters that are slowly falling behind, right? Where we're letting these new characters come forward. Like Winter Soldier and Falcon, I could see potentially one of them picking up the Captain America mantle, like in future MCU movies, like because Captain America is done, basically, right? He's going to end pretty quickly. Whether it's Endgame or the next movie, it's like right there. So somebody has to pick up that mantle, but they're also going to get a show, right? The Scarlet Witch and Vision, again, there's obviously some big stuff with Endgame going on there, and like they might be done with MCU, so they get a show. Same thing with Loki, right? Probably done kind of with the MCU movie universe. He's going to get a show. So clearly Disney is working the other way, right? Like we're going to introduce our characters in the movie, and then you'll get your show, which I think also gives further merit to the potential for a solo series, right? Because we've already got him in a movie, and we've already got a solo movie. Didn't quite make it. We could get the show. So I'd be really surprised if Disney went the route of introducing a new MCU character in a show versus the movie first. Don't you think? Like that goes so contradictory to the format that they've already kind of laid plans for, right?
Yeah, I can see that. I still want to see those characters on the big screen. That's like the one thing I've been hoping forever is that they were going to tie in the small screen.
I mean, really, is it that bad that maybe we might get them with different actors, like in a different interpretation of them?
To be fair, the first Daredevil picks up right after Avengers.
Yeah, it does. It has
and they reference
loose
it all.
references. Yes, they're
So
all loose references, but
it's clear what it is they're talking about.
Yeah,
And they've already crossed that plane. It's existed. They've referenced it. Why can't they do it? I don't know.
yeah.
And that I'm sorry, but that reference has given me this little like kid on the edge of his seat feeling for a long time.
Yeah.
Of like, we're gonna see it. We're finally gonna see it.
Well, and how many times have we talked about that? Like every time a season comes out, we're always like, how cool would it be if just in like on a TV screen in the background of one of the movies is something from Daredevil, right?
Yeah.
Like something like that loose of a tie-in. Give us something, but there's never been anything. Never once in the movie side, but in the show side there has. I think you're really, really hard pressed for these actors to ever play those characters again, to ever get the interpretation of them that we got on Netflix. I think, like maybe, I think there's ways that it could be done and it would be really cool.
Leaving Luke Cage off where they left him off.
Like really all of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's all so jaded and just so ambiguous. It's like I kind of feel like
it's an anime ending. This is not anime.
Yeah, totally, completely.
Speaking of anime, though, One Punch Man's new season should be coming soon.
Yes. I've been watching the
So
Mob
excited!
Psycho
So excited!
every day too.
Is that new also?
Yeah,
Mob Psycho.
they're over halfway through on season 2.
Oh, nice! I need to watch that.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of season 1.
Yeah, Crunchyroll.
Oh, okay, nice. Which I have now without commercials, thanks to somebody.
Nice. got a third one?
I think if we just talk specifically streaming services and what's going on with this, it in a way I feel like it's one of the last like Wild West parts of the internet that's out there. Like there really isn't something out there that governs how it works. Like we went through that with like downloading stuff. Right. And it was Wild West and crazy. Even before that, it was just search engines.
I was a
Remember
Toro,
when, like,
so
Oh,
mean.
well, remember when like just even search engines came out? Like it was
man.
this race to have like different search engines, and like Google suddenly came out, and it was like this wild west for everything. I feel like we're like in that phase now, which I think makes me sound super old, but where it's like we're in this like this next phase of this wild west internet where
when Yahoo was a search engine before it was a
right?
mail service.
Yeah, totally. That's totally true, though, right?
Or
It's
your
like
parents used
all
Yahoo.
these things started coming out, and they started just bombarding the internet.
And if we start talking too much, we're gonna start bringing up ICQ and stuff like that.
Well, but all these things happened, and they basically like took over as like the superpower, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until something else stepped in and was like, "Whoa, you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself and too much power. We need to start governing this and creating a standard," right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the streaming service is in that weird zone right now where there's really nobody out there to kind of govern this. It's basically up to the supplier end to give us whatever the audience wants, and there's nobody really on that other end that's saying you can or can't give them this, right? And I kind of feel like that with Disney getting their service, it's kind of going back to those different conglomerates that we've already hit with different internet services. And I wouldn't be surprised if once Disney steps in, especially now with the Hulu majority owning, their own service already owning, who knows what else they'll try to buy. Like, how much can they steamroll before somebody else finally steps in and says, okay, listen, we have to figure out a way to unify this and create standards for everybody. You can't just go in, lassoing whoever you want and wrangling whoever. There has to be a standard set here.
Yeah, but like Mick was saying earlier to start with, and before he got on a couple of several sides.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But and I was starting to get into with it, and then it's when you brought up that I'd canceled it. Anyway, but like I said, yeah, if you got it, it's like I had at one point in time, I had the HBO, which was like 14 something a month.
Yeah.
It's an expensive one.
Yeah.
But
I ran up to 15. Might as well, you know.
Yeah.
Taxes.
So
$15.
I had the HBO, I had the Crunchyroll, I had Netflix, obviously, Hulu, Amazon Prime.
I'm gonna pull a Marcus real quick.
All right,
That means go pee.
he's gonna go handle himself.
Hurry, we're timing you.
But so what did I have there? I had HBO, Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, Amazon.
We're up to like $50 a month.
So 15. Netflix is what, $13 a month now?
Yeah.
So we'll just say 15. There's $30 right there. Hulu is what, $8?
Yeah.
You know, so we'll just say 10. Just round it up.
40.
Yeah, 40. Crunchyroll is 7 something.
Okay. Let's call it 45 because we're rounding. We'll make up the difference.
45. Amazon Prime, that's $60 a year.
Yeah.
100 now.
Is it $100 a year now?
$100 a year. Yep. $100 a year.
$100 a year. So in 12 months, we'll just
Let's call it $5 a month.
Okay.
Right? That's fair.
Yeah.
We're rounding up on most of it anyway.
Okay, so we're at $50 a month for that. I got the AMC.
This is nerd math for anybody that's out there.
Yeah, whatever. I got the AMC one
math.
for the Enterprise show.
Oh, okay.
For Star Trek, and then canceled it because their service sucked so bad.
The CBS All Access.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got it and canceled it right away.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, this is
I
not
got that to
happening.
watch football because it's the only way I could watch it. For
Yeah.
like one game. Like, nope, done.
But yeah, that was $10 a month,
Yeah.
Nope.
and then I had the Funimation for a while,
So we're like
which
80
theirs is garbage too, by the way.
We're like $80 a month.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's a cable subscription right there.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that's a
cable
valid
and
point,
internet subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah,
though.
that's,
$80. That's why your internet sucks, dude.
No, I pay over that. But I'm saying it's a basic cable and a basic internet subscription.
Yeah.
It's less than $100.
Dude, I pay $45 and I don't even have internet.
Right.
For just your TV.
No,
yeah.
for my internet.
Yeah, right. Totally. I love that. Yes, that's awesome. It's like
got you guys
$45
beat.
for internet. I don't even have internet. Yeah. I pay $45 for hypothetical internet.
It's a reliable 0 to 60.
Well, and then
Pretty heavy on the zero.
Yeah.
you look at what Sony's doing too with now like the View and stuff like that too. They're taking all the streaming live TV and they're putting it on their own network.
Which,
And that's a
okay,
whole nother
so
subscription too.
I have a huge beef with that because the only thing you cannot get Hulu Live on, basically, is PlayStation. And it's because it's because PlayStation has their own live service.
Yeah.
And they want you to subscribe to that, not Hulu. If you have any other streaming device of any kind, a Nintendo Switch, an Xbox, any sort of smart player at all, you can do Hulu Live. Only PlayStation will not let you do it.
So
You can do Hulu, but
Switch
not Hulu
has
Live.
Not Hulu Live.
Switch has streaming stuff now.
Yeah, it's offered. If you go to Hulu Live and look at the list of supported devices, Nintendo Switch is on there.
I thought they
I
weren't
know
going to do
because
that
I
for a
looked into
while.
it. Oh, maybe it's not. I don't know if it's available right at this
Because
moment. But
they were trying to focus on like we aren't going to be like everybody else and have all the game or have
If
all
you
the
go-
streaming stuff because we don't want just like a mobile streaming device. We want a portable game system that's console all that crap.
if you go to Hulu Live and look at supported devices, Nintendo Switch is on the list. That's all I can say.
Interesting. Do they have a browser?
I don't know what that actually means, but it's there.
Don't you have a Switch?
Yeah, but I'm not going to pay for it for that.
No, but is there does it have a browser?
The Switch?
Yeah.
I've never browsed any. I don't use my Switch that way.
Well,
Do you want me to do it right now? Do I need to look it
I'm
up
saying,
to prove it?
does it have a browser though? That's the thing. If it has
I
a
don't even
browser,
know. I've never
then it
browsed
would be
anything with my
subscribed.
Nintendo
Like you'd be able
Switch.
to have that subscription on there because you'd be able to access their site.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you that I think the most absurd option is the Nintendo Switch, and I think that seems ridiculous
Oh no, I'm
to
not
go
arguing
that
at all. I was
route.
just, that's
I'm
weird.
just, but I have looked up Hulu Live and the supported devices, and Nintendo Switch is on the list,
And
but
PlayStation
PlayStation 4 isn't, and that is the more absurd thing to me.
Yeah.
Right? That's the point I'm trying to
Right,
make.
right.
Well, it's just Sony flexing their muscle.
But again, I think that's again, now we're coming back to that, like, what is that? The 90s era of weird internet conglomerates that at some point have to be reeled in, right?
Yep.
And I really feel like that's happening with this streaming service thing. It's like, it's getting really ridiculous. I wouldn't be surprised if like there's like the Humble Bundle thing or whatever, right? Where you can
I
get.
love Humble Bundle.
I know you do. You talked about it.
freaking
Talked about it for
awesome.
so long.
What is it?
Humble Bundle is like, it's a cheap bundle of various things that you can get digitally, and usually they're screaming deals, right? Like 8
Amazing.
PlayStation games for $20. And
Oh,
yes,
wow.
3 of those games maybe are awesome, or maybe almost awesome, but you have to deal with the other half that are like, eh. Like, I'll put them in my queue, I'll probably never download them or play them, but for the 3 games or whatever that I might have bought, I can justify buying them for a total of $20, right?
Or
Would
comics
you say?
even. So,
Oh, yeah,
so
well,
but
other
it's all
things,
it's
but they're
donation
digital
based.
stuff.
So you have like your lowest thing is you can give $1 and you get the lowest, like what $1 will get you, and it'll
Yeah,
be like
it's a tier level subscription.
right. Well, but I mean, it's like you don't have to do it. So if you want,
Donation.
well, no, because you can choose where it goes.
Okay.
You can either give all the money to Humble Bundle, to the donation that they're supporting that month, or you can give it to the supporter, like the developers, or you can
Okay.
choose like how much you want to do. But like I
Well,
got
it depends on the developer, but that's
Right.
probably where I'd
So-
put it.
so,
I
like,
want to
right
support them.
now
I want to keep them
is-
making money.
Pathfinder. I can get
Oh, nice.
just a ton of stuff for $20 right now, like 15, 20 bucks.
Nice.
It's all
And
digital, but it's
And how much of the Pathfinder and what kind of stuff are you getting? Right?
let's see. I can look it up right now because I have it on my phone.
We're not doing that. We're not going that
Whoa,
route though. Just
whoa,
so you know.
whoa. It's on Hulu. How am I on Hulu right now on my browser?
Because it was listening to you. That's what our phones do now.
You Google, stop it. No, really, it's on Hulu. What about digital streaming? You ain't gonna do that to me.
Well, the point,
So, wait, hold on. I'm right here.
No,
Are you there?
No.
So
The
there's-
point that I was getting to is that we're not doing Pathfinder because all the things that you complain about with playing D&D is what Pathfinder would be.
Oh, really?
Oh, is it?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's worth
I didn't
it,
even
though.
know what Pathfinder was when you guys said Pathfinder.
Pathfinder is.
I thought it's a vehicle Nissan makes, right? Before is it the precursor to the Xterra?
So Wizards took over D&D
Okay,
because it went D&D.
I like this conglomerate. This is still dealing in the same wheelhouse.
It is.
D&D, AD&D is what it went to, and then Wizards took it over at 3rd edition or something like that, or 4th, something like that. Anyway, but Wizards took it over,
third.
and when it changed, and they tried to make it more mainstream,
Okay.
and it got away from just the super honed in stats, and this is what it's going to be, and everything's done by math and whatnot, and all this stuff. And as Eric would,
stuff.
and as Eric would
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it, a bunch of nerds in the basement go, no, I'm sorry, but that doesn't count. You can't do it that way, because if you look in the page of 296 of this, you can't. That's all about what D&D was.
Yeah.
And when they came out with the newer editions, 4th edition was just WoW only on tabletop.
Yeah.
And 5th edition is I really actually love it because it is so freeform.
Yeah.
You can play it however you want. If you want to play it down to the Nat's rear for math and everything, you can do that. Or if you want to get a bunch of bumbling idiots in the group, you can totally.
I'm totally that guy. I will
You can totally do
completely
it.
say I am that guy. Yes, I am. And I want to be a bumbling idiot when I play.
And you do well.
Thanks,
And
thanks, buddy. Thanks.
And you can cater it. Did you already forget our first level up?
Yes.
Only complaint, Marcus. Get a character voice.
I'm working on it. It's got to be raspy and like aggressive, but you still are a little bit turned on. I'm working on it.
What's up, hon?
Yeah, not that.
Yeah, that was not good.
Not
That was
working
not good.
on it.
I've been working on my character voice for my character, and I can't find one yet.
Yeah,
For
I'm
Myson.
going to work on it.
So
Myson,
the
I'm probably just gonna go
Pathfinder thing.
Yes. Anyway,
Before you get to that, you get the beginner box, the rule or
That's right. He
core
was talking
rule
about
book,
this just the other day.
the bestiary, the game mastery guide, bestiary, yes. The player character folio, Weeby Goblins, Weeby Goblins 2, Weeby Goblins Free, Weeby 4 Goblins, Shattered Star Player's Guide, and then the Pathfinder Online Trial for $1.
wow.
Yeah. And then
Pretty cool.
$8, and you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 more books. $15, you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 11, or 13. Sorry, 12, 11. No, 13. Sorry. 13 more after that, and then you
Nerd
get
math again.
math, yeah. and then for $18 you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 more.
Wow.
So you get a ton of content for $20.
So if you get onto D&D Beyond,
Yes.
okay, and this is a ridiculous thing for me, and it kind of really pisses me off, but you buy all the content,
Yep.
okay? So if you want to, they have the free stuff, and that's we're all playing under the free
I'm gonna sub
free
nerd a little bit.
tier. But no, this is what I'm getting to.
Right.
So you buy all the content. So say if I was to do it, if you bought the whole content, you can get a ridiculous discount on it, but you get all the content they have available. $485.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's discounted,
Yeah.
but it's $485 digital. You have to access it through D&D Beyond.
Sounds very Ubisoft.
And then now, if you want to share it with you guys, so if I was the DM, I have to subscribe to the full DM subscription to be able to share it with you.
Which is even more than the 400
It's like
something?
30
Oh no, that's a
bucks
month.
year.
That's $50 a year
Okay,
monthly
50
subscription.
year. Yeah.
A month?
No, $50 a year monthly, or it's
Oh,
it's $50 per
okay.
year, but it's a monthly subscription,
Yeah. $50
Okay,
bucks
so
over
like
a year.
$4 a month, something like that. It's like $4 a month.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, $4.50 or something. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was getting at with the streaming stuff, though. Like, what if suddenly there is Humble Bundle stuff available where it's like, get Hulu and Netflix and Amazon for, for let's say 6 months for $100,
I'd do it.
right, or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
right?
Oh, definitely.
Well, and then plus, where's now, if the other end of it, the streaming services are going to go out of their way to diverge themselves and force us all to pay $10 a month for each one. Let's just split the difference and call it $10 a month.
Yeah.
For each one,
fair.
right? We're now talking our cable bill again. where is the motivation for us to not go get another debit card or another email address and get another 2 months for free or a month for free and just like start milking their end of it too, right? It's like I'm really curious what's going to happen with the whole thing. Like something has to step in and kind of be like, okay, enough, right? Like we have to figure this out. And
well, when Sony owns the world, they'll all be under the
they
view.
will all be under the view, right? I think it's gonna be Disney, man. Like Disney's gonna buy Sony next, right? Like
Probably.
something crazy.
They'll like intertwine and become like a brood, you know.
No, so who's the company making the new game system?
Oh, I can't remember.
It was
Oh, somebody's trying again.
Yeah. Somebody is trying again. It's totally true. They're the
Sega.
people that made Project Cars.
yeah, it was the Madbox.
There you go, Madbox. Yeah.
So
They're making a
Dis- Dis-
console. Really?
Disney-
yeah, right.
Disney-
Because Project Cars was so good.
Burn.
So
pound it.
Disney will buy the Madbox.
Found it. Bam. There it is. Nope, that was the right one. That was the right one right there.
Yes.
Nope. Nope.
Nice.
There you go.
Worth it. So worth it, Mick.
So with my pasty white hand.
Yep.
So Disney buys the Madbox, calls it the Mouse Box, and
Of course.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? They're going
Yeah.
to do that, and then they're just going to own the world.
It's
Then
gonna
after
go like Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts stuff. Kingdom Hearts 3 just looks ridiculous.
I will say as much as
Did you see how detailed they were with it though?
Yeah,
So
but still.
in Kingdom Hearts 3, there is their own their own web service, their own internet.
like within
Inside-
the game.
within the
like
game.
In the
GTA
game.
kind of.
Yeah, kind of like GTA.
With more access.
And anyway, somebody went to the game store in the world and started looking at the games, and they're all fake games on the shelves in the game store, and then went to the website, and there's reviews for each of those games.
Really
Yeah.
weird.
Wow.
Again, this is the weird digital fake world that is going on, right? It's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, I really think part of me is so okay with Fox not having X-Men and not having Fantastic Four, with Netflix not having Daredevil, not having, like, for all of these things to just be under one house and that house having control over connecting them however they want, whether it's a show on their streaming service or a movie that they're going to release starring that person, or both, a combination of both, whatever. There's part of me that's like, that is the coolest thing ever, right? Like, it is just the coolest thing in the world that all of these things from my childhood that I fantasized about could now become real as an adult, and I don't even have to think a quarter of as hard. Right? Like, it just will happen. I pay $10 a month. It's all right there at my fingertips. I can binge on it, drink beer. It's going to be the coolest thing ever. Right?
Yeah.
Part of me is in that boat, and it really is a childhood fantasy come true. Right? And then there's a part of me that's like, that is the scariest thing in the world. Right? Because
Because once
now,
it's all under one house, it's $60.
Right.
well, but plus that, it's like, now that it's all under there, if something isn't done right, or if let's say it suddenly goes, again, I'm going to talk some crap about Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
But
Always.
that man, right? That's the only thing I have to say about it. But that mentality of giving you something that hooks you while still baiting you to buy more is so much more.
That right
there's
there is
so much
mobile
more
gaming.
potential.
That is mobile gaming entirely, and I think that's mobile gaming leaking into the rest of the world.
Which is
Well,
really
but I
weird.
think that this could happen if suddenly everything's under one roof. They could find a way. For now, you're
and
not.
why are you getting mad at Fortnite over that one when it's EA is the one that really freaking starts that?
Yeah, but Fortnite's separate from EA.
No, I know that.
EA
No,
would love
EA
to have
puts
their.
some good games though.
No, but what
Shut
I'm
up,
saying
Nick.
is they're the ones that have they're the
Battlefield,
ones
dude.
that started the loot
Battlefield.
box thing and started to pay more for
They
this
did.
stuff and
Yeah.
and milk and what you're talking about the pay for it and the milk it thing.
Yeah. They did,
EA
yeah.
is really the ones that started that, and then mobile systems are the ones that really expounded upon it and succeeded. They're the ones that's where that succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
And-
that also caters back into streaming now. Mobile things are what made streaming relevant, right?
Yeah.
It's like you could take it anywhere. That is the point of mobile, right?
Having roommates that were a little too active with each other on your couch is what made mobile streaming worth it.
Wow.
That's wow. That's worth the $10 a month. Show over.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
Did you really need to send that Netflix and chill in a group message?
Yeah.
No, you come home from work and you walk in on it and you just turn right back around and go to your room and like, okay, I can watch this on my phone.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I don't need to use my living room.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, I never
Yes,
had
I had lots of Furbies.
If we talk about specifically Disney and the crazy conglomerateness going on, I think the fact that they're going to own 60% of Hulu is the scariest thing in the world, because not only am I suddenly going to pay for Hulu and maybe this Disney service, the real fact is that
You're paying the same
both
company
of those
twice.
bills go to the same person.
Yeah, you're paying the same
So
company
suddenly
twice.
now, what is to stop Disney from having another sub-service of their own service where now I'm paying that streaming? I guess that's where I mean, like, it is this crazy Wild West, right? Like, what if Disney wants to do their G-rated service, their PG-rated service, their PG-13 rated service, right? Their
Well,
R
they already
service
have
will go
kids
over to Hulu.
ones.
And it's like,
Yeah, they already have Disney Kids.
yeah, but
the
is
Disney
that all?
Kids,
Do you
it's
have
all
to pay
kids stuff, and you have to pay
separate
for it. Yep.
streaming stuff for it? Yeah, it's like...
Yep.
That is the biggest scare to me overall, is that suddenly now, because Disney is going to be so powerful with it all, which again is awesome for all the nerd things I love, that they could be under one roof. But if Disney decides to take that power and now subdivide it between all these things that I suddenly have to pay for to get it all, like what if they decide to even go the route of like my MCU service, right? Now my Star Wars service, right?
Yeah.
Like now I got to pay for
That's
my
gonna suck.
different nerd things.
If they do that, yeah.
Like, but who's to say that that's absurd? Where it sits right now, that's not ridiculous.
no.
Right?
No, it's,
I could see it happening.
It's highly probable.
Yeah, like I think at some point something's going to step in and have to just be like, listen, right? And I don't think it'll like be legitimately like a Humble Bundle thing, but I could see something stepping in and being like, listen, we've made deals with whatever, and we are going to facilitate and streamline this, or somebody's going to have to step in and be like, this is now ridiculous, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Or maybe not. Maybe it won't happen, and suddenly now Disney can charge me for 5 streaming services because I like all the things, because Disney buys everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a weird thing to think about, and it's weird how much it reminds me of like old internet problems that we were running into that are now resurfacing and right in front of our faces. And it's also weird how much like it's weird how much we don't care because we get it right now, right? Like that's the big benefit of the whole streaming thing, is it just now you already don't care what the bill is at the end of the month because you're getting the thing that pays for that rush now, right? Mm-hmm. It's a weird, it's just weird. I don't know how else to say it other than it's kind
we're
of
a now
scary.
generation. That's what it is.
Oh, for sure.
We want what we want,
Well, I think-
like as soon as we can get it. So we're willing to shell out, $20-$30 to have that thing if we can get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're even more of that generation than us. I mean, not to like,
I hate that because I'm not
but
like that.
I just
yes,
your
I am.
generation specifically, it is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're what? How old are you now?
30.
30. So yeah, you're
I'm like
8
at that,
years behind us.
I'm like right at the cusp though. Of like,
Yeah.
I still work for a living, and I don't think I should get a handout.
As far as we're personally concerned, Mick, you're on our side. Okay.
Yes.
I want to throw you that bone, buddy.
Sweet.
I don't look at you
But
as
he
part
doesn't
of the
need to
problem.
because you
Good.
work.
Yeah.
And I'm not a freaking hipster. I listen to vinyl because I like it.
Yeah. It's. I am so torn.
Speaking
on
of that, I picked
how-
up some sweet vinyl the other day. Some like
Nice.
Tangerine Dream.
Nice.
Amazing. 1980s electronica. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, nice. Some young man, smooth jazz. Awesome.
Oh, I got Paul Desmond too. Woo. Good stuff.
Oh God, I can't wait till you play with us again.
Till I play with you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like it when I play with you?
No, for the sausage. Or not
For
the side.
sausage quest. Oh, clearly I was talking about something else. You like it
of
when I
course
play
he was.
sausage quest with you.
Hands.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about music and you being a bard. So
Oh, nice. I don't know where to say or what to say about a lot of this Disney stuff, because really half of me is so excited for it. It really, really is. And the potential of it, and if they do it right and they care about the fans, that care about what they're doing, it could be the coolest thing ever, right? Like it really,
can be.
really could.
But
Do I
do
think
they-
that'll happen? I'm not.
Not hopeful.
Not as much, right? Like I would love to think that, but I feel like I've seen enough.
So what you're saying is we're going into it like we're going to go watch a DC movie.
Kind of, right? Like let's find the positive in this because there's going to be a lot of negative, right?
Yeah.
And that's my attitude whenever I go see a DC movie.
Well, if you have no expectations, you can never be disappointed.
That's right. And
I do hope that they don't go that route of like, let's just go big and do everything that they didn't do, and like what DC was doing, like let's try to just cram it all in and try to get it all done. Like, no, you got to have your separate things.
Disney is a marketing genius, though.
Yes.
So I don't think they're going to just do something that's going to offend people. If anything, they're going to work it in slowly to where it's going to be like after the fact, after we're hooked and stuck, then we're going to realize that, oh, hey, we're stuck.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that legal?
So I think if at the minimum,
Nope, you accepted the contract.
At the minimum, there's Disney Kids, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if at some point there's Disney Adults, or at least something. Not that they would call it that, but something equivalent to that. Yeah, right.
Disney Max.
Disney After Hours. We call it After Hours.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, right. Oh, shucks.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, right. I would not be shocked if that happens at all. But it's a
Darkwing was good.
I think no matter what, as much as you don't like having to pay your bills to Amazon and Hulu and Netflix, and you don't like what Netflix did with this Marvel thing, there's a lot of potential for it to be better now that it's all under Disney. But I think there's this big, scary, ominous part of it to where it could make it worse, right? Like it really could.
It really could.
And I mean, who knows what'll happen with it? I really hope. So far, Disney has been pretty good and pretty supportive of that core audience that they're trying to please with the stuff they've done. I think the majority of it, at least, they've done a good job at that. They have had some misses along the way, but for the most part, they're aware of those core people.
Let's talk about the success of Solo with those core people.
Right.
But again, those core people were the people that were. I think Star Wars and Marvel people are a whole different game. And I think that the Star Wars people are the people that I'm most mad at for ruining my future Solo movies. Right? I don't think that's Disney's fault. I think it's the people that bitched so much because they're such nerd-obsessed Star Wars fans.
But that was not because of Solo. It was because of the previous movie.
Yes, but that's the wrong reason to ruin the other thing. Yeah.
Because of it.
Totally. I think that is the biggest problem with it.
But if you look at the Twitter feeds and everything else, Solo is like it's nothing but a list of people going, I watched Solo. This is like the most Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It is great. I loved it. And like the fact that they didn't focus on the actor who was Solo, they focused on the character.
Yeah.
Like that was the big thing. Because when he was younger, he was, he had a heart. He was he cared for people. But then you saw how he had to change to where it was about me. And that's it. Survival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and that I think was the best part, because then that relates to the Solo you got from the originals was he did it for himself.
Oh yeah.
He cared for Chewie, but that was it.
But if what happened and what the fans did, and let's say the movies or whatever from now on, but Disney comes around with their streaming service and suddenly there's a Solo show and it does what Daredevil did for you on Netflix. Like there's potential for that, right?
Like
that is potentially possible based on what they're laying out for us here.
And if that happens, I'll subscribe.
Yeah. Or at least with the hopes that it'll be good, right?
Right.
It's like I'm curious what'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I still feel like
and that is one nice thing about with them being all separate the way they are. You do have the power to be like, no, you pissed me off, and vote with your dollar.
Well, and that was the point I was going to make, is that let's say suddenly now, what's already happened, that Netflix doesn't get these shows, right? And they are tentpole shows for Netflix. They just are. They are shows that brought people in and subscribed to Netflix that did not pay that monthly bill before, were these Marvel shows. They just were, right? So now that Netflix can't ride the coattails of that, how much potential is it for them to be suddenly shocked into reality and now make some relevant content?
To be fair, I had Netflix long before they had the Marvel shows.
No, me too.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot.
Well, that's kind of my point, though, is like...
But
that was the thing you were holding on to keep paying that bill eventually,
Exactly. That's
right?
why I was staying.
Yeah.
Was those.
Yeah, and so now that they don't have that to hold on to,
the Netflix originals originally started out great.
yeah,
And then they just kind of just turned into these cheeseball crap.
yeah,
And every time I went to a Netflix original, it eventually turned into the point where if it said Netflix original, I am not going to watch it. I'm not even going to watch the preview. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go find something else.
yeah.
And that turned into the Marvel shows.
Well, and how much is okay? So I've said this multiple times on our show. How much of MCU's success all goes back to those first few characters they had to work with, because everything else that Marvel had sold off was their title characters, right? They were left with having to be creative and forcing something new to come out of these characters that weren't as popular, and they made them that popular, right?
I think that in itself also played to the fact that because they were not the popular characters, they were not fresh in people's minds, so they had more freedom to play with them too.
Yeah.
So they could deviate from the source material more without they're going to piss off the people that really followed it. But this could be a smaller audience.
Yeah.
The original comic book readers like, hey.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it's like, and that said, they got me to go back and read a lot of comics
Yeah.
because of it. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
I'm saying I agree with you that a lot of the previous Netflix originals were not that great, right? I think in the past couple of years they have done better, and they have made some that I've really enjoyed.
Netflix originals was like a hit after a hit after a hit.
Oh,
this
great!
This is awesome, and then they just kind of turned to garbage.
Yeah,
was that around the time they started doing Daredevil and those other things? That's kind of coming back to my point where now that they can't rely on those, right, as much to be these tentpole shows. How much pressure will be on them now to do something new and original that's different, and maybe Netflix will be better for it, right? You're not riding the coattails of this superhero nerd wave that's just we're all consumed with.
At the time, though, that the Netflix originals were coming out, it was like, here's a Netflix original. It's like one show, and then there might be another show that fits another demographic, but it's like it was one or two shows.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, about the time that they picked up the Marvel stuff and the Marvel stuff started taking off, it was... there's 300 more new Netflix originals.
Yeah, like
here's
one
another
after the other. Just
it was just you were
constant.
inundated with it, and they were garbage.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the deal with this? When it was the one or two things, it was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
And
I think the biggest person that should be threatened by this whole thing totally is Netflix. I think we've already said Hulu is going to be owned mostly by Disney, right? Mm-hmm. Disney's going to do their own thing. They're fine. And Amazon, we don't care about. The Amazon Prime's a bonus as far as watching stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
it's mainly about the shipping. It's not the thing we really...
and like their movie stuff.
It's a great bonus, but...
Their movie stuff, they have a lot of good stuff that's free because it comes with the Prime subscription.
they
but
do. And I watch a
it's
lot.
also a
like
renting
Dead
service.
Faith, a throwback to the previous show.
Dead
I've
Faith,
used their
man.
renting quite a bit.
I've accidentally rented a movie twice one evening, and I think I didn't watch the second subscription I had. But
Was it the same movie?
yes, it was an accidental click, and I was like, "Oh, I rented it," and then I was like, "Nope, rented it twice." Well, happens.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
which is a great movie.
You better pop more popcorn.
The Banshee chapter. If you guys should watch
That's the
that.
name of the movie. It's worth renting twice.
So, like I said,
no, it's great. It's about a drug that the U.S. used to use. Like, it's real life stuff, but they made it weird. But it's cool. It's creepy.
Well, and Amazon Prime does have some
and drink
sweet
a soda
shows.
and you're.
well, dude, Vikings.
Vikings is a History
Vikings,
Channel.
Yeah.
That was bought by Amazon to then continue.
Yeah.
Yes, but they continue with it. That's fine.
Yeah.
The
And
Vikings.
it's free to watch on there.
And I'm going to be honest with you, the best part of Vikings is the first couple seasons.
I've been hooked all the way through.
Really?
I have.
I think the new Amazon...
For being a History Channel show, how gory it was.
How gory it was, it's not accurate at all, but it's still awesome.
Right. But for being a History Channel show, I was like, oh, this is like 300.
Dude, the production level on it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a budget.
It was a good show. They actually
and,
held pretty good, like pretty solid through all of it.
And Logoth amazing. But anyway.
the big Amazon Prime original that I've been getting hooked on, and I'm leery to say that it's good, is called Expanse. Have you ever watched that?
Not yet.
It's weird.
I saw it on there, though.
Dude, it's like... It's like Battlestar mixed with Blade Runner,
Nice.
mixed with like Firefly, kinda. It's like
I mean, that's all the premise for.
I know, right? It's like
everything.
I actually
so
really.
you've
It
got-
has Duder from the Punisher movie that you like, main dude. What's his name?
Bernthal?
No, Thomas. Is it
Thomas
Thomas
Jane?
Jade? Yeah.
Nice.
He's one. He is basically the Blade Runner.
Oh,
in it.
nice.
Yeah. He's the one that like is a detective,
Mm-hmm.
but also hates the police force he works for. So he kind of works kind of against the grain to like find the person he's supposed to get, who's connected with the with the Cylon side, who's
Nice.
connected with the Firefly side. Is like he is my favorite character of the whole thing. But it's a horrible. It's so bad, but I love it. Right?
They've got another one that I watch routinely is the Grand Tour.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That's
which is
the Top Gear
it's
guys,
the
right?
Top Gear guys, yeah.
So is what we're saying that Amazon Prime is the one that if you're like around our age you should get because they're going to get all the failed shows
But I
and
was
the
gonna
continued shows
say
from our era.
another thing too though that I've been using it for is they got all the old anime.
Yes. Again, this is to my
Yes,
point.
all the
of-
classic stuff. I mean,
Yes.
you can go watch the Voltrons. You can go watch the.
They will all have the
watch
stuff that got canceled on the other networks you used to pay for.
Well, no, it's just stuff. It's just not even out. It's not the fresh. It's not the new. It's not the
Yeah.
shiny. And
It's old man.
I love it for that.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, but you should love it for that. You're an old man. I'm in the same boat with you.
But yeah,
That's the point I was trying to make.
yeah, that's what they've got. And like when you're talking about on your guys' previous on Wednesday's cast,
yeah.
you guys were talking about like the what was it, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure
Yeah.
and stuff. You're talking about it's like that was totally Fist of the North Star, and
Yeah.
he even says that about his fist. He's like, I have my fist be my North Star.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
And he's like in there, and it's like that's totally a rip off of Fist of the North Star, and I loved it for that. That's like the one thing that's keeping me going for it.
Yeah.
And it's got the same guy from.
So you've been watching it?
I told you I've been watching.
Oh,
it.
yeah. I
That's-
didn't know how much you'd been watching. It's
that's-
so weird.
That's what I was referring to in referencing when I was like typing. Dude, just read your comments, guys.
Yeah.
Read your comments, guys, because like I made like 5 comments about this. Read them.
Yeah. And I do like the
And-
show,
and-
but it's not good.
And it was Ario Speedwagon, by the way, which was the guy that you kept trying to say. It's like this guy is no, it's Ario Speedwagon. That's his name in the first.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is totally Ario Speedwagon is the character's name. And they use the Yes Roundabout song
Yes.
to death.
I know.
And I already hate that song because of GTA. I used to love that song, but I hate it because it's always on the radio with GTA. And I remember when it came on, I was like, I love what you're trying to do, JoJo, but don't play this one. But there are other like awesome 70s songs in the show.
Yes,
like
there
they do
is.
come up as
But-
the show goes on. Yeah.
But that was what it was in the Fist of the North Star, and that's what drew me to it initially, was the classic animation.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is done just like the classic animation.
Totally.
And I haven't gotten to the point where you said that they changed.
Yeah,
And
they
they've gotten
and they
to
will.
the
Have
new-
you gotten to the second character?
No, I
yet?
haven't gotten to that yet.
Oh, okay.
And
So different than the first one.
I know, and that's kind of bugging me because that's the only thing I was looking at. It's like this is like totally done. Like, ooh,
Excuse me.
it's classic. It's old.
Yeah.
They're doing it. It's old animation, but done with computers and new. It's a little weird, but it's cool and new. And
I felt
the
really
one thing though that I
confused,
hate
too.
about it. The one thing that I hate about it is they had the coach from Champion Joe.
What do you mean? That's like the voice actor?
Yes.
Okay. Are you watching in English?
No, in
Apparently?
Japanese.
Japanese. Okay.
But you watch in English?
Season 1 and 2 I have because they're on Hulu in English.
Oh, okay.
Which maybe
I'm watching it all on Crunchyroll.
okay. I think maybe it's a better
Japanese.
way to go because season 3 you have to watch in Japanese on Hulu.
Okay.
There is no English.
But it's
I do like it better immediately, to be honest with you.
I liked
There's certain
like
shows
the-
though that like English is better.
some Dragon Ball,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dragon Ball Z,
Love DBZ.
so
in
much
English.
better in English.
I'm torn on that one. I appreciate both, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I appreciate that.
I've stated it many times, and my reasoning why,
So good.
because I picked up, I got into it actually a little bit later than you did, because you watched Dragon Ball Z, the first run of Dragon Ball Z on the Tsunamis.
Yep.
And I watched Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball came in, they aired Dragon Ball after Z. Because
No wonder, that's like why I couldn't hang with the Dragon Ball as much because I was so inundated with sensory overload from
yes,
Z.
and I got the very end of Z, or as the saga that they aired.
yeah.
and of the Cell Saga, or Frieza Saga, I mean. I got the very end of that, and then went to Dragon Ball. You know, so it's like I had no real connection to the initial one, and then watched all of Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball was always done just in Japanese, subtitled. They didn't do any English overdub for that. And so I watched that. That was awesome. I got into that, and then they went straight back into Z again for a second airing. And all of a sudden, you've got all the new characters. They've come back. They've grown up. They went away and trained for a year or two or whatever it was, and then came back and showed up for the tournament again. And they're all older, and it's all English voice actors. So it's like, okay, this is awesome. It's a clear transition. I've gone from this. Goku's voice changed.
Nice.
This is nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There's really nothing like Dragon Ball. Again, I can't, to this day, I could never recommend it as like a first checkout as an anime for somebody. But once you get it and you start to like anime stuff, you need to watch it. Like it is.
Yeah.
It just
a staple.
is. Like, I don't know.
It is. It's a slog, though.
Yeah.
It is.
Sure.
Krillin dies a lot.
Yeah. It's
you're
almost an anime.
You're complaining about episode count, especially with One Piece.
Yeah.
You know,
Ugh.
One Piece goes through the transitions and the characters change and grow, or they add people to their crew, and there's clear progressions throughout the whole thing, and clear sagas and expanses, and the same things with Z.
Yeah.
You know, it's generational with Z instead of just one group, but
That's what makes the JoJo Bizarre Adventure kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get to that, but
yeah,
it makes it kind of cool.
I listened to your other episode and
Yeah.
commented a little bit, but you don't read the comments, so it doesn't matter.
Except when I'm on it, I'm like, hey, look at what
try.
they're saying, people.
We're going to start posting that with the video so you can see that there is a lag to when I get it and when we're talking and we see it, and like, I'm going to start putting it there.
It's not
There
that,
was more
not
than
that
a
much.
lag in that one. I'm just telling you.
It's
But,
Jack's fault. It's all Jack's fault.
There's
Oh,
what,
of
like
course.
a
Totally.
10, is it like 10-second delay?
Yeah.
Or
20?
five
Is it 20?
second? No, it's
Let's
low.
split the difference. 15.
For between live and when you actually see it, there's not much of a lag.
But
Enough, Mick. It's enough.
Nope.
you're not helping him out. Here's what he's
I
saying.
am.
So keep saying it.
I'm just throwing him under the bus. All 18
Yeah. Oh,
wheels.
it's okay. I'll back up. Make sure he's okay.
That's right. Check
Still
on me.
twitching.
That's right. You have to back up, dude. I'm a tough bastard, and I just will not go away. You will see.
You won't. Oh, I know.
And now, on that, I completely lost my train of thought. So,
Basically, with my whole wanting to talk about this
Rant.
thing, basically, our coming back around to the whole streaming rant thing is, in so many ways, I am excited for it. Like, even in its shortcomings, I'm excited for it. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of excited and curious to see how this weird internet limbo is going to happen again, right? Because it just is.
Yeah.
And it's weird that we're going through it one more time. I don't think it'll be the last time. Next, it'll be something new before you know it, and that'll have to be regulated again all of a sudden. But I have so much respect for what Disney has done with so many properties that I find so dear and personal to me throughout my whole life, right? Like things I've grown up with that I remember running around in the yard with sticks and pretending they were lightsabers and like being Jedis and like making blasters out of guns and like just doing all these things that now they completely own my adult life of that image of that thing, right? And so in a way I'm excited because I want all that to be under one roof and I want it all to make sense. The canon thing, right? Like I want it to all be canon. I hate it when people bring that up, but I like the idea of that.
yeah.
The other end of it is it makes me kind of concerned because I hold it so dear, right? Like I don't want it to be exploited too much, right? Which I think there's a lot of potential for that.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be exploited and oversaturated for the next generation. Like I want them to have the experience that I had growing up too, where you weren't inundated with it, where you had to soak it up for a year or two and just and make your own stories about it and make it personal for you and have all this stuff.
Well, it was not uncommon for us to watch something in theater and then have it be almost a year later or longer before we ever see it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
and
now,
it's just-
and now it's like
Like,
2
oh,
months.
finally they're making a number 2.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
And now
no,
it's like,
but I'm,
well,
but
it's
I'm
next
just saying,
year.
it's like, so my family didn't have a lot of money, and then I was also pretty, sheltered, I guess you'd call it, as a child, in a lot of things.
Yeah, you grew up on a farm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, not a lot of exposure to the real world.
Did you drive a tractor before you drove a car?
Oh, clearly.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Right? I've sum it up for you, buddy.
Well, I was okay.
I still love you. It's
was-
it's what I
was-
love about you, but
I was flagging Dad. I was in the pickup, but running the blinkers,
Yeah.
flagging the tractor at 12 years old.
yeah. No, I'm not shocked by that.
On the highway.
statement at all. Yeah.
Awesome.
It makes total butt sense.
It was hilarious too. He brought me out to the backfield in the dump truck to in the ditch crossing and just a couple turns to get back into the backfield,
Yeah.
back to the barn. And he just points it out. And he gets out and points at the clutch, points at the gas. He goes, "That's the gas, the brake. See you for dinner." And gets in his pickup and drives away.
Right? Welcome to the school of hard knocks.
Yeah,
man.
but to be fair, I put that sucker in gear, got it moving, and followed him down the road.
Nice.
Awesome. That's great.
It's pretty good.
I think I set too high of a bar though, because I can't remember what it was, but I know I screwed up right after that. Next time he wanted me to do something.
Yeah.
It's like when I drove your car. I said, everybody kills it. I didn't kill it the first time, but when I stopped the next stop sign, dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I can attest to this. He can. You did that.
Yep.
You totally install it.
When we first took off, it was fine. Next
I
stop
was actually kind of shocked. You're like, this thing's got a lot of feel. And the next time,
Yep.
yeah, a lot of feel.
Feels pretty dead.
Yep.
So I think we should kind of wrap it up. We're getting into Mythic Forest
What?
tendencies here. We're like halfway.
116.
This is part 1 to Mythic episode 3000. It's fine.
We're only on 21.
On the outside of
Yes.
the streaming service part of it,
Nerdbuzzed Theater 3K.
yeah, we do get Captain Marvel. We kind of touched on it a little bit.
Really soon.
On the 8th.
Looks pretty
it comes
cool.
out super soon. I'm excited for it. We do get Endgame, which is going to be... I don't think they'll announce a streaming service officially, like a release date or anything, until after Endgame.
Probably
Because
not.
I think it will wrap up MCU. It will then bring those characters into the streaming. It will all be hooked by then. You'll have to keep watching them there, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that Endgame is the 26th of April, so pretty quick after Captain Marvel. And then we actually get a little bit of time between, not much, but Spider-Man Far From Home, we will get on the 5th. So we get 3 movies this year. One of them is just going to
Wait, I thought Far From Home was coming out right before Endgame.
No, it comes out after it.
Okay.
Yeah, they at least did that. I heard that it was Sony's push for them to release those trailers, and Marvel and Disney were like, we don't want to do it because we have Endgame coming out and it's going to be weird. And Sony was like, do it basically because we have you by the spider balls and you have to do what we say, right? So that's why that trailer got released, but Disney was not happy about it, but it was like
Gotcha.
a deal to let that happen, right? So that's still a weird territory. I think
Gotcha.
Sony has so much power
They
in
do.
that court right now. It's like whatever they bought that for, Spider-Man is worth so much more than whatever they paid for him right now, right? Like
Yes.
Disney just bought a whole network for like $27 billion. That's the most ridiculous number that is real that I've ever said, right? Like whatever Spider-Man is worth is
Did
billions.
you hear how much that Amazon bought the Tolkien universe for?
No.
Let me see. Let's see.
Is it more than 27 billion?
It's possible.
That's insane. That seems weird because that's one that's over, right? That's not like this franchise that we're still locked into.
No, it's something they're working on.
Well, no, because if they're buying it, they buy the rights to the world. They can do
Right.
whatever they want with it.
Well, that's what I mean, though. It's like, but that's kind of already over. We've moved past that, right?
Kind of, but I
What,
know
Lord of the Rings?
so many people
Yeah.
that are...
No, not at all.
That's like the core of their being. They're all about it.
Really?
So they
Sound like intense people.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 250 million for
Yeah,
that one.
that's not
That's
even
nothing.
close.
It's not. Yeah, it's not as much.
Not even
but still,
close,
Not even
man.
close.
You gotta add multiple
that's
zeros.
but that's for just 3 movies.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because the only things that come out for Lord of the Rings has been the Tolkien movies. Well, I guess it'd be 6 movies.
I was gonna say, they made the three core movies,
and then
they made
Hobbits.
3 movies out of the smallest book.
Dude, for
Right.
200 million.
It was
For-
like estimated 500, but like
Who
about
is this?
250-ish. But still,
Yeah.
This is Amazon?
Amazon, yeah. But that
So
gives
for,
them the
I
rights
think
to
for
do like
$250 to own those movies, and you can only view them on their streaming service, that's almost worth it right there.
Yeah, and you know what they're gonna have?
Right?
They're gonna-
Regardless of future content.
next episode, they're gonna have Cooking in the Shire, and it's gonna be all hobbits and it's their own cooking
Right?
show.
Yeah. Cooking with little hobbits, that would be hilarious.
My biggest thing with that is I hope they don't go Game of Thrones it, because Game of Thrones is its own thing. It's an HBO show and it's for mature audiences. Lord of the Rings wasn't like that,
No.
so I'm hoping that they don't try to sell it as that, like, oh, we're gonna be just a mature rated show with all this stuff.
They could totally do that though with if they refer to the past of the elves and the elves' history.
Oh, they could easily.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they don't, because people don't want, that's not what they came up with. Like Game of Thrones, that's what you knew what you're getting into. But
Isn't this the whole precursor to what DC did wrong, though? Like, why should they do this whole Tolkien MCU, basically?
because nobody's ever done it.
TCU, the Tolkien Cinematic Universe. Like,
And-
I think to try to emulate what Marvel has done is your first mistake. I just think it is. Like, don't go into whatever you're going to do trying to emulate that. Right?
I don't think that they're doing that, though, because they want to just expand on Middle Earth and the whole thing of that, because the only thing we know is the little bit of what the Lord of the Rings books or the movies told us of, like, there's this place, this is Middle Earth, this is where it's all happened. But all the lore of, like, all the backstories of the dwarves and the elves and things, like, when you see the dwarves, basically Gimli is the only one you see until you see the Hobbit movies, because everything's dead. So maybe they'll go into, like, that and, like, all these different spots that they can expand to.
Nick is jazzed for this.
Totally. I'm
I can
excited
tell.
for it.
I can hear it.
I'm
You're
not
trying
like
to-
a
you're
huge
trying to sell
fan of
me
Lord
on
of the
it.
I
Rings.
was say, are you familiar with Norse mythology?
Yes.
Because that's what all that stuff's based on.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know.
So are you willing to pay for the subsidiary of Amazon Prime another $10 a month to get your Tolkien network?
I would have no choice because my wife is a fan. So yes.
So yes, he would do
So
it.
it's the token Tolkien.
It's funny that that's totally fine, but if these other ones split up and start charging you more, you might have beef with it, right?
Well, it's
it's like
different.
it's just
Like-
it's. I'm in the same boat where it's like, yeah, if they make a solo show and they do these other things, I'm totally gonna buy Disney
Yeah.
Network,
The
right? It's
the
like
Star
that's
Wars
what I
Network.
want.
Definitely.
I'd buy the Star Wars Network.
But then I'd watch
Right?
that
Yeah.
if they quit doing it.
I would
and-
do it. To be fair though, I did not buy Battlefront 2.
It was only
still-
like
I'm-
$6 the other day.
Yeah, right.
I don't care. That's too much.
My
No, it's
favorite
good.
story
No,
is
Battlefront 2 is good. I think actually you would like it. It actually has a
No,
story.
it's not
and,
good. Shut up.
Oh, you quiet.
It's better than Battlefront 1. Again, we're back to the Hyundai Geo
Battlefront 2
Metro
actually
scenario.
had a story, and it actually was very intriguing, and it was very fun. I actually enjoyed that one a lot more than the first one.
It's not just cycling back and forth between Rebels and Imperial.
Not when you play the story, no. And then they have
play the story.
they have different.
But when you play online, you have no character that's actually yours. You get random weapon drops. You float between the rebels and the alliance between each battle.
like you don't get to choose if you're going to be on the, Rebels or the Alliance. The same thing with Battlefield too. Is you don't get to choose if you're going to be Germans or if you're going to be the French or if you're going to be American or whatever. You're just on whatever side it is, but you still have your core people that you play. Your assault, your engineer, your scout, and all that.
So what you're saying is no, you do not have your individual character that is your character that you follow and you build a lore behind.
not through the multiplayer, no. But they do have a solid campaign, which
What is the percentage
which is cool
of
because it's
campaign versus online?
a campaign's
As
pretty
far
long.
as
It's not bad.
as far as game value.
I went through
Is
the
it
story.
is it 50-50? Would you say 50-50?
I'd say at least that, yeah, because it was very intriguing and the gameplay was really fun, and the story too, because of where it's
I love giving
aligned.
Mick a hard time.
Is
It's my favorite.
Here's my question though: have you played Titanfall 2?
Yes,
Oh.
liked it.
And
It's good.
okay, so
I
it's
one
it's-
stupid achievement for making that stupid thing platinum, and that's a
it's
stupid training
so
ground.
it's tutorial. I mean, it's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that compare to Battlefront?
Because
that was
Battlefront was better for story wise.
Again, we're comparing Hyundais and Geos.
Well, that
Well,
was too much of a hesitation.
Well,
so
no,
sorry.
because like Titanfall, you knew what you were getting into. It's Titanfall. You're going to be fighting other people. You're going to be doing this. The story was really good in that, and I thought they did very good with that as well, because they didn't just throw you in with 1 billion people and you're playing against everybody else. It actually had NPCs that you were fighting, and that's the same way they do with Battlefront. Is you have NPCs that you're fighting, but it's this whole side story of what's going on besides what. Where is it at? It's been so long since I played it. I think it's like when Vader's doing all his crap, you're like this rogue squadron that he sent out, or the Imperial sent out to do this mission. So it ties into the different things that are happening as the movies have gone on, and like the whole lore we already know. Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
And for $6,
It's worth it.
right? Come on.
I paid $30, so it was,
Yeah, but
it was worth
okay.
it.
Guess how much Jay paid for the
I know,
first
10.
Battlefront?
Or
How much
no. You paid a lot. You
Paid $80.
right, because you pre-ordered the good stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff that I
Good
unlocked by borrowing the game for free within
For a
like
week.
not
so
even 5
They
hours.
started with the like loot box stuff like that. Within a couple months, they're like, nope, because everybody was like, screw this. We do not want you to do this, EA.
Yeah.
So they quit with all that. But it's really fun. It still has a lot of replay value, because you can like get into different mechs and stuff like that too, from the Imperial side, and you can, choose what you want to do.
Stupid Mythic, right?
This is
Mythic
what's coming on.
Forest episode.
This is coming on, yeah.
On the next
Sorry,
episode,
it was just a tangent.
why is
You-
Battlefront worth $6?
Yeah.
I love
So-
that you have to convince us to spend $6 on Battlefront.
Watch us piss off Disney.
yeah.
You're clipping hard. Somebody's clipping hard. I don't know who that was.
It's probably me.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
If we
what
wrap, what do you want to say?
well, I was
Go
gonna
for
say
it.
what I was gonna say about the whole. Yeah, just slow your roll.
Yeah.
No, but say it's not just the fact that it's $6.
Hmm.
Okay, it's only $6, but for me that's $6 and a week of waiting
To download it.
to download.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the dark side for you is the internet. It totally is.
No, dude,
It
the
does.
dark side is
there's-
powerful.
The dark web is all web for you. Yeah. So if we,
And we're talking lights out, dark, not.
Yeah.
if we kind of
Not
wrap
shady
up
back alley.
our theme, which is the streaming service debacle that I think we're all going to face, if we just sum it up between us all, what do you think, Mick? Are you excited for it? You scared for it? Is it better, good, or more scared? What do you think?
I'm kind of on the fence with it, I think.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Or
there's...
curious then, more than anything?
Yeah.
Like,
Because there's aspects that could be good with it, and then there's aspects that can, just totally fail. And for me, I don't know. I like the shows, but there's other ways I can watch them, or I can wait until they're on something else, basically,
Yeah.
or somebody else has it, or go over to somebody else's house. I'm not going to spend money to buy it to watch one show, more than likely.
I would spend money on it for tangible media. But then there again,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but then again, there says our age.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Tangible media doesn't
can
mean.
you buy the Netflix shows tangibly?
I don't think so.
Can you get like a
That's where
Blu-ray of Daredevil?
I don't think so.
That's where Elgato comes in handy.
Yeah, right. You can rip it off the internet yourself. That's gonna be. It's like the VHS, right?
Right.
We don't have an Elgato.
Did you push record? Yes.
Yeah. I think
Damn it.
I'm in the boat of. I am excited about it, right? Like I think before it gets weird, there's going to be this like super heyday where we are just going to be happier than pigs in ass, right? We are going to be so saturated with nerdy stuff that we absolutely love before they figure it out, right? And then the moment it's figured out, we will
Napster all
we'll
over again.
kind of realize. Well, we'll realize the like ride we've been taking for a little bit, and it'll have to get reined in, and there will be these other things that come with it. I kind of come back to, I guess, what I've said about all this superhero stuff for years now is just enjoy it, man. Enjoy it while it's here, while it's at your fingertips, while you can get it at the click of a button or a click of a control, whatever it is that gets it right there to your screen, right the way it is now. Enjoy it, man, because I don't think that is going to be the way forever. There's no way that it's going to start getting regulated. Suddenly the superhero thing won't be at the forefront. Like, suddenly this heyday of what we're in won't be the way it is now.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get a bunch of garbage along the way that we're all going to love just talking crap about, right? And that'll be a blast. I'm going to be right there with everybody. But even if we get these sprinklings of awesome in there along the way, enjoy it, man. Just enjoy it, because it's going to get weird. There's no way around it. No. It's going to get weird. And I don't think that's that far away.
I feel like that's where, like, torrents are going to make their way back in again.
Something, yeah. It might,
something like that.
It might not even be called that, but it'll be called something, right?
I mean, because, like, if you look only, like, a few years ago...
Is torrents still a thing even?
Like...
I don't know.
Torrents were such a big thing, like...
for a long time.
I mean, huge.
Torrents make me think of the show Lost, because I didn't have cable at the time, but that's like the era of it, right?
Right, yeah,
Whereas
that's
that
like when
show
it started,
Lost.
like, you download the show for 2 weeks, and then you can watch it, finally.
Yeah, right, yeah, because it came from 50 sources or whatever, right?
And then we finally, like, went away from that. Like, I haven't downloaded something like that in forever. But now that we're getting to that point again where it's like, well, we're paying for these things, and we only want to watch one thing, people aren't going to want to do that, and they're going to resort to the other sources where they can get it for free.
Yeah. It is kind of weird to be on the receiving end of it and be like, well, I can be the cool computer guy and find a way to get around this digital thing and not make a buck for myself, but save a buck for myself, right? Whereas the other end of it, the providers are like, here's a way to make our way around the digital thing and make a buck for ourselves, right? It's like, it's weird to be ridiculed for being on either end of it when we're both trying to do the same thing, basically, right?
Yep,
it's like,
true.
It's just kind of weird. And again, I think it all references, again, that Wild West internet kind of mentality. And I do think there will be something after streaming services for sure. Like, I don't think this will ever stop. But right now it's streaming services.
Direct
is the big
brain
thing
injection.
At the front. Yeah, and it's going to be something weird. But I am really curious to see where this goes.
You get digital
Levels
syringes
out.
and just...
they aren't going to basically jump the shark with the shows they pick up. Because that's kind of my fear. Is they're going to pick these things up, and then they're just going to put something out. It's going to jump the shark, and nobody's going to have any interest in it at all.
Every time you say that, though, I just want to go, hey!
Right? And that's
I'm
the
sorry,
reason,
I just
that's the
want
whole
to do that
reason
so
why
bad.
that term is there. Because as soon as he did that show was dead.
Yep.
So a lot of shows that have come out and have been really good, they've had like one season and then nothing else because nobody was into it. It just jumped the shark. It was done.
Yeah.
And I just hope they don't do that and they focus on the community and the fan base behind the different things.
Yeah. I think a lot of this comes back to the show we did about, basically marketing versus art, right? It's like, it's like you're going to make stuff that you're praised for the quality of what you did and the passion you put into it, or are you going to make stuff because it made you, $100 million that year, right? Like there's totally different motivations on either end of that spectrum. So,
and I'm not against people making a profit.
No, me either.
But I am against this incessant need to make a record profit every year.
Yeah, for sure.
That is just wrong as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Especially because it's always somebody one-upping the other person. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's a fantasy number. Like, at some point, it's just absurd.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's the way the business and the stock markets and all that stuff work. So
yeah.
On that, they're kind of like referencing like my show with Dead Faith. They aren't doing that to make money. They're doing that because it's somebody's vision that they wanted and they wanted to be a part of it.
Although, to be fair, tell me that they wouldn't just be crapping their pants over selling the rights to that for millions of dollars.
Of course,
right?
anybody would. But the reason they started it wasn't because of that. And that's where the businesses are at now, which is we're going to take this on because this is going to make us this X amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird because there's such opposing opinions of us as consumers that want to get the most consumption out of the littlest buck right? But at the same time, there's the people developing it that want to develop the least for the most amount of buck, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's such a flip-flopped mentality, and until I really think until us as consumers are willing to kind of step up and at least say no to some of it and yes to some, like be a little bit more decisive about how we take that in, it's just going to be the route they take. Like we're feeding the machine.
It all starts by canceling a Netflix account.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But in the end, I'm still going to say that might be the wrong choice, because what if Netflix is motivated to come out with original, like actual art shows now? Because they're not.
Then I might
can't
be
rely on
motivated
those
to buy it
tentpoles.
again.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a weird game. It's so weird because none of it's real and it's all now.
Yep.
Right?
To be
It's
clear,
just
though,
all now. It's so
True.
weird.
Yep.
To be clear, though, my whole digital consumption has just dropped immensely
Yeah.
in the last, I'd probably say, about the last year.
Yeah. It's hard to not get. It's weird how like
Consumed.
YouTube was the thing where like you'd find yourself at 3 a.m. watching weird YouTube tangents,
That
and you can.
that YouTube hole you go down, it
Right?
goes
Oh, yeah,
it
dude.
goes weird.
But
after
now
a
it's
certain
almost like
point.
that with like your
YouTube roulette.
Yeah. pretty much.
Well, now there's like Hulu roulette and Netflix roulette, and now there's gonna be Disney roulette. Like it's just weird. It's really weird. I'm still excited, but at the same time, I'm curious, right? Like I'm a little leery, but it has potential to be so cool, and I still really just say, enjoy it, nerds, man. Just soak it up, take advantage of it while you can. If you are gonna do torrent things, not that I want to support it, but get away with whatever you can until it's all super regulated, because I think that will happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you won't be able to get away with the things you're getting away with. So as much of a Wild West for what we're absorbing, it's also a Wild West for us as like being the outlaws and getting away with crap, right? It's like, it just is. It's like, enjoy it, man, because it's not going to be this way forever. And I think we're really hitting this new threshold of what is going to start getting regulated. It's weird, but it's just insane. I feel so old, but the things we've seen are crazy, man. They just are, and we're not done seeing it. It's just going to get weirder.
No, we got a long ways to go.
Yeah. Hopefully, right? I'm hoping so.
Yes. It's all about keeping that positive mindset.
That's right. I do want to give a big shout out to Mick and Stupid Mythic Forest.
Yep.
Please spell that for people, because I will mess it up.
STOOPID Mythic Forest.
Yes. Go
I'm not
check
gonna
him out
spell
there. Go check out Mick there and his great shows. You might catch us on a recent show that he did. And find
And
him
if
on
you go-
Twitter.
The episode before, the last one with both of them, you'll have me and Jay.
Really good
Yes.
show.
Great.
Yes. Probably even better, right?
And I mean, he stayed for the whole time, so that's good.
Yeah.
No-
The Skype in worked so much better on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
Yeah,
great. Yeah, it was so amazing.
It was almost like I was there.
No technical difficulties or nothing.
Nice. And go find Mick also on Twitter at
Official
at
SMF.
Impinator, and at Impinator if they want to
And
give you a
at
hard time
Impinator,
personally.
yes, as well.
Yes, I encourage people to do that. It's one of my favorite things to do on Twitter. Is specifically give Mick a hard time. You can
You
also
like doing that in person too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. Also, you can give us a hard time there. I would love to hear what people think
Yeah.
about this whole streaming thing.
Totally
and just
would.
what's going to happen with Disney. I would love to hear from people that are younger than us too, and like, what are your thoughts on it? And people that are older, whatever. I just think it's this kind of crazy thing that's happening, and I'm excited and curious about it. I'd love to hear what other people have to say. So let us know. And I guess until then.
Until then.
No Fortnite memes.
No Fortnite memes. Send all those to at Impinator.
Oh, God,
IMP.
Jeez.
That's fine. We'll fake it.
Yep.
We'll
Well, I got
CGI
some.
in it. Oh, you do? I got to dribble in mine.
And you have an unopened one right there in front of you. So
I do.
Yeah, we don't need that. I need to drive home.
no, you don't need it.
We will stream it to you, Mick. Don't worry about it.
Cool.
To all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz.
bottoms up.
Let's get nerd buzzed.
So in time. We're so good at this, you guys.
I wish I had one of those little clacker things I could spin around.
Oh, I'm so glad you don't.
I used to make the noise.
Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome. Get that right there.
Well, if it's one of those ones you spin around, it has to go up and down.
Marcus and Jeremiah.
You gotta surge it.
Those like old moo things.
Yeah. Thump. Those are hilarious.
Let's get nerd buzzed.